So as I dig deeper into video editing and whatnot, I've realized that shorter clips are a lot easier to move around and edit. So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try and add an intro into it and whatnot. But for someone that doesn't really mess with that kind of technology, it was a pretty big learning curve for me. But yeah, I guess I'm going to talk about my big block Revo build today, and this should be a pretty good video because I've pretty much touched everything on this truck also. See if I can actually get some good video of this build. Yeah, she needs to be leaned out a little bit. But yeah, so I got this thing from Facebook Marketplace for $200 off of a guy just up north of me. It was the newer Revo 3.3 by Traxxas, and it was in good shape. It had all of the Traxxas 2.4 stuff, like the engine temp sensor, the RPM sensor for the transmission, basically the whole OptiDrive setup. Sorry if you could hear me click that. I'm trying to keep the screen from turning off on my GoPro, but this turned out to be a really nice build. I incorporated the anodized red links to match the heatsink on my big block. I did end up using the well, let me pull the shell that I painted off of here. This is the Platnum Revo shell from Traxxas. They're kind of, I guess they're not hard to find anymore, but it's one of my favorites because it has the little fuel door cutout on it, so it's easier to fill up, especially with the big block using so much of it. This tank actually does last pretty long though, even with the big block. But you can see, like, even from the tires, I'm not sure if this camera will pick it up, it has tons of torque. I have to keep the brake on pretty much to keep it from just taking off just from the RPM, because I'm only using a 2-shoe clutch right now, which isn't really strong enough for that well, not clutch, a 2-shoe flywheel, so it can expand on the lower RPM range, which I have the 3-shoe, I just haven't put it in yet. I was trying to figure out what springs to use for the RPM that this motor will put out. it's already pretty quick, and uh, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, it's a sweet build. I did everything pretty much to maintain the ability to swap the 3.3 back in here. I used the big block header. I used slash modified the big block mount, so the 3.3 literally just takes 2 screws to put right back in, and it'll slide right up against the trans. The trans is moved a little bit, but it's still in a spot where the 3.3 will touch it with a T-Max clutch bell. But I'm still using the temp sensor on the motor. I took the OptiDrive out. I put the little cover on my T-Max. Yeah, it's a sweet truck too. It's got the GTR shocks on it, RPM all the way around. I didn't use the TrueTrack rear end because the guy at my local hobby shop had a very great reason for not using the TrueTrack rear end, especially for the big block build. If you snap a rear arm, you can just buy the right or left side instead of having to buy the whole TrueTrack rear end kit, so it's only $10 as opposed to spending $40, which is, in my opinion, a good way to keep it cheap. I work at Amazon 3 days a week, so I got a good discount on this engine, which is why I put it in here and decided to do this build, because there wasn't very many people that made these and put a good explanation slash video out as to how they did it. But that's not what I'm going to do right now. This is just basically a rundown of this build. I'm not, well, let me turn the screen on again. I'm not sure if this will pick it up. Yeah, kind of. I am running the light flywheel on here. The lightened flywheel, you can see the holes in it as I spin it. But I think I might actually stick to the 2-shoe because I do like the lightened flywheel, and I haven't found a 3-shoe lightened flywheel that will fit on this motor in particular. Which, if you do this kind of stuff, you understand how much of a pain in the butt it is to find things that are compatible for doing stuff that's not really supposed to be done or wasn't thought of during the design of the chassis and whatnot. Luckily, I've done 3 or 4 Revo builds, no big block builds. This was my first mid to big block build, and that's a very big, well, not very, very big, but it's a big block, especially for this chassis, considering that it's only supposed to be a 10th scale. But yeah, I switched it over to a single servo setup. A lot of people say that it's made to be a double servo truck, but that's not true. The single servo works way better than the double servo. I'm also running the reverse in here still. With the single servo setup for the steering, you get much more battery life out of the 1700 milliamp hour receiver pack that I'm running in here. I am running the, what is it, a 4-channel Traxxas TQI radio in here. The one that came with it when I bought it for $200. I think that is possibly it for this one. I don't believe oh wait, no, that's not true. So, let me show you guys this, which is another little touch that I did. So I matched the anodized links to the heatsink of the big block, as well as matched the skid guards, or I guess or I don't know what the hell you would call them. I guess skid plates are aluminum gunmetal to keep some more weight down low, to make the center of gravity lower, since I put the bigger motor on there. So they match the gunmetal on the body that I painted. Like the little accents on the body are painted in gunmetal to match the skid plates. But overall, this truck turned out really amazing. I'm very proud of it, just like my T-Max build back there. That's a really powerful truck for a 3.3. The way I geared it and everything, that thing is a monster. And then this thing is coming up here. I got some good parts chilling there for that. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm trying to keep these clips short so I can continue to learn how to edit the video. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Traxxas nitro trucks. Like, I mean, they don't really have too many like monster trucks, but I tried to turn Traxxas's 1/10 scale truck into a full 8th scale truggy, or muggy as they used to be called. I'm sure any of you older nitro fans remember those things, but this is also one of my custom paint jobs. So yeah, these three all have that one will too have another custom body painted by me. But yeah, here's a little size comparison too while I got the camera out. The 2.5 by the big block. The heatsink is literally almost the size of the entire 2.5. And I'm sure with one clutch shoe that would probably produce double if not triple the amount of power of the 3.3. But yeah, I'll have to get some really good running footage. I have the stock body here that I have the mount for this camera on. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I guess I'll pull this off with one hand, set it on the RS4, and show you guys that I did, in fact, trim this body to run this camera on here to get some kind of FPV footage for the channel and for you guys. Should be kind of like a chase rig almost. But thank you guys for watching, and please click the like button or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, as I pay for all these trucks myself and build them in my free time when I'm not working for Amazon. But yeah, I appreciate you guys checking out my videos. See you later.